Hi, and this is my new shortwave radio from the 40s, from Connecticut to Vancouver. And it just arrived to me in Vancouver on July 27th, 2020, about an hour ago. And I took it out of the packaging, and the case was nicely dented because the thing weighs a ton. And even though there was fragile stickers on everything, it wasn't packed very well. It was packed with foam peanuts and bubble wrap, and it still managed to get dented, sadly, in a big Home Depot box. So you can see the corner is dented, the bottom corner of it is dented. It's not a big deal. I think everything else is pretty good. So, I mean, I think the guy, thank goodness, the guy that I bought it from on eBay, I only paid $160 for it, and it's in mint condition, like unrestored mint condition. Like it hasn't been moved in like 50 years or whatever. Like it's been in somebody's basement or something. For like 70 years or something. So yeah, crazy, isn't it? 70 years ago. It's over 70 years old, this radio. It's called the Super Defiant SX25 from Hallicrafters. It's the crystal version. The SX versions have the crystal tuning. And it looks like it wasn't really used hard. When it was used, it wasn't used hard. Like it doesn't look like it beat up at all. It doesn't look like it passed through very many hands. You know, it doesn't look like it was owned by very many people. You can still see the paper label on the front there. See that plate in the front is the bottom plate. I take the bottom plate off. I don't think the bottom plate had ever been taken off the radio. Nothing's been touched on it inside. There's the bottom plate. You can see the vent, and it's got all of this. There was no screws missing, not a single screw missing. It's got the original power cord with the cracks in the rubber. I'm 100% sure it's the original power cord. You'll see a picture of it. So I did it from each side. I took a shot from every side. So there's the front side. I took it from looking down on it. You can see all of the dials and everything like that. It doesn't look like anything's seized. Like none of the dials are seized in place. They all turn, which is pretty cool. You can look at there's not any major scratches on the front of the case, which is super nice. Look at all the lettering. You can still see all the lettering, which is really cool. Super Defiant, Hallicrafters, Chicago, USA. This radio is from like 1940s. 1940s or the 1950s, I can't remember. $1940. It was introduced in 1940. So there you can see the top. We're looking at the top of the case now, and that's the tuning section. And you can show that it's not seized up. The tuning section isn't seized. Like I can turn it and it moves. You can see it moving there. You can see in the top of the case, that's all the original dust. You know, it's probably dust that's been there for like 70 years. It's pretty cool. It's like time traveling. So you can see, I don't even think any of the tubes have been replaced in it at all. Like it looks that original. Like it doesn't look like anything's been touched in the case at all. No wires have been replaced. Nothing's been soldered. It's like time traveling. I don't know if you can see the dent in the case, but the dent got a nice, the case got a nice dent in the corner, but that just shows how indestructible this thing. I mean, it was probably dropped by some freight carrier guy who didn't realize how bloody heavy it was when he picked it up, and he dropped it, and the corner's dented, but as you can see, the thing is so indestructible. It's like a tank. So it did nothing inside got damaged. The light bulb was just clipped on the side of the case, and the light bulb, one of the light bulbs was unclipped from the case, which is probably due to the bash that it got. But yeah, you can see that's not the best shot. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can see it from one angle there. I'm gonna try to shoot it from different angles. So that's just one angle, and I'm gonna try to shoot from another angle in a minute. So there, you can see the front side of the case there. That's where I think it's called an S meter is that thing there, and you see the light bulb is popped out of the S meter there. I'm gonna try to put it back in. It's pretty funny. There you go. There you go, little light bulb. Go back in your little hole. So yeah, and you can see everything is original. Everything, there's massive. It's really sad, but I miss shooting the two massive tubes. There's really big tubes that are just out of camera, but there's just these two big massive sort of curvy shaped tubes. Maybe I will shoot them. I don't think I got them, but oh yeah, there's see the massive tubes. Look at those tubes, those big curved things. They look like mummies. Those are pretty wild. Those are massive. I don't know what kind of tubes those are. I don't know anything about tubes. I don't know anything about, I know a little bit about electronics, but I don't know that much about vintage electronics. That's why like I was so interested in getting this. Like it's my first like vintage electronic project. I'm pretty stoked about it completely. You know, I'm just so happy it actually got here. And yeah, finally got here. So here's the back of the case. You can see, like I said, all original. I think one of those says 500 ohms and one says 5,000 ohms. There's the original power cord. It's got little rubber, cracked rubber. I'm 100% sure that's the original cord. Too bad. That little thing turns. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I don't know what everything is on the back. I tried to get a better shot of that label. You can see the serial number. Yeah, those are the outputs for, I think it's 500 ohms and 5,000 ohms. That I don't know what it is. I thought it was a fuse. That thing turns, whatever it is. There's a serial number plate. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. So I have to figure everything out. The serial plate, number plate looks like, you know, I really want to see if I can trace the serial number to find out what exact version it is. Like I can get the schematic for the exact version of this radio. That would be really cool. And yeah, in a minute I'm going to show you the underside of this beast. So yeah, I shot this incidentally. I shot some of these photos with I shot the first shot of the photo and with my my vintage lenses. So I shot it with my 135 Olympus 135 OM lens, manual focus lens. So that was the first shot, and I also shot the next shot with my 135 as well, Olympus OM f2.8 vintage lens. So yeah, I'm into that vintage photography. This whole video you're seeing it's going to be shot through two lenses. That lens, the 135, and the 50 1.850 Olympus OM vintage lens. And actually this is pretty good because I have the silver nose version. This internal shot was shot with the silver nose version of the 135 Olympus OM lens. And look at the nice color rendition. I actually changed lenses because the 135 Zuiko silver nose lens looks so good, even though you have to back right away. Like you have to be like you have to be about 5 feet away just to get a clear focus. But you can see all of the original components in here. Nothing has been touched. When I crack this case, everything is unrestored, unoriginal. You can see all of the old odd looking components. And I think that this is even an early version of the SX25. I think this is probably an early version of it rather than a later version, but somebody can tell me about it more in the details. But the beautiful, like, I originally shot the underside of this with my 50, my 1.8 50, and then I switched over to this vintage Silvernose 135 Olympus OM lens just because, it captured what my eye was seeing. Like, it was way closer to what it was looking like when I was looking at it. So yeah, this is like perfect color rendition. The other one was like, it was really kind of blowing it out. It was kind of really too many shadows and too much light and too much shadow. And this is like perfect. It's like it's like you're here looking at it almost. You can see all of the old wire. You can see all of the old wire. It absolutely looks like it's everything has not been touched for 70 years. It's pretty wild. It's like time traveling. It's mind blowing. You can put your head in there and smell it, and it smells like 70 years ago. It's pretty, I don't know, that sounds odd, but I don't know. I think those things is cool. So yeah, it's amazing. Look at how little the tarnish is on all the metalwork. Like, look at how little the tarnish is. There's hardly any tarnish on there. It's not all blackened or, oh, it's amazing. It looks like it was probably lightly used. It was probably in one or maybe two owners, probably the same owner for like 70 years. Never been touched by a technician's hand at all. I think it's pretty excellent. So anyways, thanks for watching that, and I'll check out my other videos and I'll keep you posted on how it turns out.